Good morning, everyone. Today, our group will present our research on electrification of freight transportation, powering the next generation of supply chains. So, our presentation focuses on how battery electric trucks are transforming logistics operations, reducing costs, and supporting environmental sustainability. We will also discuss the challenges businesses face and look at real industrial examples. So, electrified freight transportation is much more than replacing just the usual diesel trucks with electric ones. Heavy-duty battery electric trucks are becoming an important solution for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, lowering noise pollution, and reducing dependence on fossil fuels. However, this transition also changes the way the supply chain operates. So companies must consider charging infrastructure, battery range, charging time, vehicle costs, and payload limitations, also electricity grid capacity. All of these factors influence the route planning, the delivery schedules, the fleet utilization, and overall logistics costs. Research also shows that electrification affects not only transportation, but the entire logistics system, requiring businesses to redesign their whole supply chain operations to improve efficiency and sustainability.
Existing research shows that electrification works best for predictable freight routes that begin and end at distribution depots. According to Borlak and colleagues of ours depot, charging can meet between 35 and 77% of energy requirements for trucks with more than 300 miles of range. For longer routes, however, public megawatt charging infrastructure becomes essential. Researchers also emphasize that successful electrification requires close coordination among logistics providers, shippers, vehicle manufacturers, utilities, and charging providers. Our research question asked, how does electrification of freight transportation affect supply chain operations, and what strategies help companies manage this transition successfully? Our research concludes that electrification can improve sustainability while reducing operating costs. However, success depends on redesigning logistics operations through better charging infrastructure, smart route selection, flexible delivery schedules, and coordinated investment across supply chain partners.
Hi, my name is Daniel Kewo. I'll continue my presentation where my colleagues stop. I'm going to be talking about impact on supply chain. Firstly, we need to talk about supply chain needs to be redesigned. And how do we do this with design in supply chain? Talking about the electrified freight is more than replacing diesel trucks with electric trucks. Also, companies must redesign their supply chain because electric trucks have different driving range and charging requirements. Businesses need to be careful and plan delivering routes, charging points, and schedule to avoid delays. And also, let's talk about the electrification changes how supply chains operate. Companies can no longer focus only on moving goods from one place to another. They now have to consider battery range, charging station, and charging time when planning deliveries. This means supply chain must be redesigned to keep operation efficient. And also, coming to conclusion, and also better plan and collaboration. Supply chain partner must work together, like logistic company, manufacturers, utility companies, and charging providers all need coordinate. Better communication reduce delay and improve efficiency in supply chain. I will continue my presentation in slide 6. Thank you. In continuation of my presentation, I'm talking about transportation operation. Transportation operation, there are three main points. Lower operating cost, electricity costs less than diesel. Electric trucks require less maintenance because they have fewer moving parts. However, electric truck can reduce operating cost over time. Electricity is generally cheaper than diesel fuel, and electric vehicles have fewer mechanical parts, so maintenance costs are lower. So in all this, we need to apply the driver must plan route based on battery range and charging location. Charging time affects delivery schedule. However, transportation operation become more complex because companies must carefully plan route and they must carefully plan routes around charging station. Charging takes longer than refueling diesel trucks. So businesses need to schedule deliveries more efficiency. However, overall, electrified freight transportation is transforming both supply chain and transportation operation. While companies face challenges such as charging infrastructure and battery range, the long-term benefits include lower operating costs, better environment performance, and more efficient logistic operation. So these are the things we need to work on to improve our logistic and delivering aspect. Thank you.
Distribution and last mile delivery. Electrification is particularly effective in last mile delivery because vehicles usually travel short, predictable routes and return to deposits every day. This allows companies to schedule charging effectively while reducing pollution in urban areas. Success depends on factors such as driving range, battery capacity, charging locations, and effective route planning. Cost and operational efficiency. Although electric trucks require higher initial investment, they offer lower operational costs over time. Reduced fuel consumption and lower maintenance costs help decrease the total cost per mile. Research also showed that electric trucks become more competitive with diesel vehicles on short routes supported by depot charging. However, charging infrastructures and route planning remain essential for achieving operational efficiency.
So next we'll be looking at environmental sustainability. And one of the biggest advantage is the positive impact on the environment. Replacing diesel truck with electrical truck has reduced gas emission. It has also reduced the dependency on fuel, and it has improved air quality by eliminating gas emission. Overall, the environmental benefits depends on how electricity is generated, and the greatest benefits are achieved when charging with renewable energy such as wind or solar power. So despite these environmental benefits, it also has some challenges, and some of the main challenges are high vehicle costs, expensive charging, limited charging availability, charging time, and battery range. And all this can affect delivery schedule. And on the other hand, it also has some opportunities, which are low fuel and maintenance costs, reduce emission rates and reduce noise pollution, better route planning through the use of digital technology. And all this has made electrification an attractive long-term strategy.
This case study shows PepsiCo provides a strong example of successful freight electrification. The company operates around 100 Tesla semi-trucks in California for local and regional deliveries. The rollout has exceeded expectations, improving driver satisfaction while reducing fuel costs by almost $1 million annually and lowering greenhouse gas emissions by approximately 1,100 tons each year. Also, Amazon demonstrates how electrification can scale globally. The company now operates more than 30,000 Rivian electric delivery vehicles in the United States and over 50,000 worldwide, delivering approximately 2.4 billion packages. Other companies include Paper Transport and Road One are also successfully adopting electric trucks, showing that electrification is moving beyond pilot projects into commercial operations.
And in conclusion, electrification is transforming supply chain operation by improving sustainability, lowering operating costs, and encouraging stronger collaboration across logistic network. Business should begin with predictable depot-based routes where charging is easier to manage. Success also depends on collaboration among logistic provider, shippers and manufacturer and utility. As technology continues to improving, electrical freight transportation will become an increasing practical and cost-effective solution to future supply chain. And on this note, I want to say a very big thank you for your attention. We appreciate the opportunity to present our research. Thank you, sir.